Welcome to the Know, I'm Mica, and happy God of War Day, everybody. Kratos' new adventure is officially now out for PlayStation 4, and the game is already making some waves. In addition to those stellar reviews, it looks like God of War is also seeing some enormous numbers on Twitch at the time of writing. It's leading all games with more than 220,000 viewers versus Fortnite's 97,000. And on top of that, one analyst is predicting that it's going to be the biggest debut for a PS4 exclusive ever. NPD analyst Matt Piscatella wrote on Twitter, "So my confidence is high that God of War will be the biggest exclusive debut on the PS4. Only question I have left is how high the sky is for a primarily story-driven, non-service game. Haven't seen a game like this rated this highly in years, so this will set the benchmark." Considering previous PS4 exclusives like Uncharted 4 and Horizon Zero Dawn did 8.7 million and 7.6 million in their first years, that's pretty dang impressive. Alright everybody, get those speculation engines a-going. The Pokemon bosses at Game Freak have just filed a trademark for a Japanese term that translates to something like ultra shiny. You know, just to give you another level of rarity to obsess over and hunt for. At the moment, not much is known about the trademark and why they'd be filing it, but the popular thinking is that it might have to do something with the upcoming mainline Pokemon game, either the title itself or that we may get a brand new ultra shiny classification of Pokemon when it debuts. Typically though, trademarks usually relate to a title or brand rather than something more specific for the game, but seriously, just tell us what it is already, guys. Do I need an ultra shiny, like, mega Pikachu with an afro? I actually kind of want that. That would be really cool. Fortnite is pretty clearly the biggest game in the world right now without even being available in the biggest market in the world. However, it looks like that's soon going to change because apparently the game is on its way to China. Epic tweeted a picture this week of one of the characters with a passport stamp for China, writing, "The battle bus is taking off, destination China." It doesn't get more obvious than that. So that seems like a bit more than a hint that the game will soon be released there, which isn't entirely surprising considering that Tencent is a part owner of Epic. As for when the game is coming, well, the passport is stamped with the date of April 23rd, so yeah, that's soon. It'll be interesting to see just how much bigger this game can really get. Bad news, Puzzle Fighter mobile fans, Capcom is shutting the game down after only a few short months. But the good news, maybe, is that they're apparently doing it so they can focus more on one of their major franchises. Capcom made the announcement about Puzzle Fighter this morning on the company blog, writing, "As the studio is dedicating its focus to our flagship Dead Rising franchise, we have decided to sunset Puzzle Fighter. The game will be removed from app stores on July 1st and servers will shut down on July 31st. While it's sad that Puzzle Fighter Mobile is shutting down for the 10 people that played it, the bigger news here is that Capcom is confirming working on the next Dead Rising game. So far, we've only heard rumors about that, and back in February, Kotaku reported that Capcom was laying off staff at its Vancouver office and shrinking the next Dead Rising game in terms of scope. And now it looks like the game has also claimed Puzzle Fighter. We've had all kinds of rumors that Treyarch has been experimenting with Battle Royale mode for the upcoming Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and now we've got some other weird rumors that they might have borrowed another style of gameplay from multiplayer as well. Overwatch. Okay. This new rumor started floating around on Twitter yesterday and was then backed up by Call of Duty fan site Charlie Intel, which has a track record of being extremely accurate when it comes to franchise leaks. Charlie Intel writes that from what they've heard, at one point Black Ops 4's multiplayer was very hero-based with advanced movement systems similar to what was seen in Black Ops 3. However, that went really poorly with playtesters, so it was scaled back and made a bit more in line with the multiplayer of the rest of the series. We'll see how many of those elements make it into the final game intact, but there you have it. Yesterday, the internet made a whole lot of noise about Warhammer 40k Inquisitor, Martyr developer Neocore, and it turns out it was a giant misunderstanding. It all started when Neocore announced a delay for the upcoming game, pushing it back to June 5th. As part of the Steam update, the game's producer made a promise that they'll be all working 90-hour weeks until the game was properly finished. Naturally, the promise of overworking its developers drew a ton of criticism online, with lots of people coming down on the "don't kill your team" side. Of course, Neocore staff has since clarified the statement to assure people that the tweet was just a bit of joking, tweeting, "We won't do 90-hour weeks, it was meant as a joke, and I have removed it from the original post already. The wording was off and misleading." Ah, the good old "just a joke" defense. Love it. For the record, in the post now it reads, "In return, we promise we'll push these 3 weeks hard so it'll be very, very useful for Martyr." The latest video game title to make the jump to the big screen is Ubisoft's The Division. Big names like Jake Gyllenhaal and Jessica Chastain are attached to star, and the producers have hired John Wick, Atomic Blonde, and Deadpool 2 director David Leitch to helm it. If you haven't played the game, The Division refers to the secret government agents that live among us and are activated in times of crisis. That day comes when a pandemic spreads through the US thanks to a virus attacking attached to money is released on Black Friday. You know, the day when everybody is touching money. It's up to these agents to try and solve the mystery of the virus's origin and try to save what's left of our country as everything falls apart around them. This could make a pretty fun movie, so far they're going pretty big for the talent involved. It's certainly poised to be better than Gyllenhaal's last video game outing. Sorry, Prince of Persia, you tried. The He-Man and the Masters of the Universe movie is still in the works over at Sony, and it seems like they're looking for an indie world for their directors. Directing brothers Aaron and Adam Nee have been given the power to bring Eternia to the big screen, while franchise vet David Goyer not only provided the script, but will be very hands-on in the development process. The Nee brothers had a movie called Band of Robbers doing the festival circuit a few years ago about grown-up Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn, who are now a dirty cop and ex-con planning a big heist. There have been a few failed attempts to bring He-Man to the big screen again over the years, but this one actually has a release date. If the project happens, we'll be seeing it December 18th, 2019. No word yet on whether or not Orko is in the movie, but it is a sure bet that Josh Gad will voice him if he is. Valve's been involved in a very long legal process in Australia over their refund policies on Steam, which resulted in them being ordered to pay nearly $3 million fine. Since then, Valve's been appealing the fine, and it looks like they just lost. The decision was announced today by the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, who said that it'll set a good standard for international companies coming to Australia to do business. They said in a statement, "This important precedent confirms the ACCC's view that overseas-based companies selling to Australian consumers must abide by our laws. If customers buy a product online that is faulty, they are entitled to the same right to a repair, replacement, or refund as if they'd walked into a store." Valve's position this entire time has been that they aren't really doing business in Australia at all, since Steam is like, online, man. Yeah, that seems that it hasn't held up, and now Valve is gonna have to pay. So that is all the news we have for you today. Remember to comment on any of your favorite news stories in the comments below, and for news from every corner of the internet, like this video, and if you're new around here, subscribe to the Know. Laying off staff at its Vancouver office and shrinking the next Red Dead Rising. We've had all kinds of rumors that Treyarch has been experimenting with Battle Royale mode for the upcoming Call of Duty 4. Well, this rumor started floating around yesterday on Twitter and was then backed up by Call of Duty franchise Charlie